You absolutely love to hear this update coming from the St. Louis Blues, as just yesterday, Jim Montgomery revealed an update on Dylan Holloway and when to expect him back in the lineup. We get a clear-cut answer on when the Ford is returning, and this has fans fired up. We're going to break down everything you need to know on Dylan Holloway, the exact day he's returning, and so much more on this team. And Darius, looking at this, we know the St. Louis Blues have dealt with a lot of injuries throughout the entirety of the season. It feels like it's a never-ending curse. And yesterday, Jim Montgomery went in to say that he's back. He's getting closer. He was a full participant at practice, but today we get an even bigger update on Dylan Holloway, and this dives straight into the report from Andy Strickland, and it was gone out to confirm by the St. Louis Blues themselves. Dylan Holloway returns for the Blues versus the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Darius, I just want to get your thoughts on Dylan Holloway. I know there's a lot to talk about with this guy, but what is your thoughts on him getting back in the lineup for the first time in over a month?
But before we get too far into the video today, guys, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. And when you download Kalshi using the link in the description and using promo code DIGESTNHL, you get $20 when you trade your first $100. And whether you're in Texas, California, or right here in St. Louis, Missouri, Kalshi is now live in all 50 states. And Kalshi is the US's largest prediction market where you can trade yes or no on real life events, including sporting events, elections, music, or even the weather at this point.
And I mean, Darius, looking right now, we know football's huge at the moment. You can go trade on Seattle beating the Rams. Everyone wants to see this with a great payout. $20 gets you 34 back. And even if you love college football, you can go through. Everyone loves the big moments of these games. And you can trade right now on the announcer saying what a catch. And with a game like this, you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a big game. Like, something big is going to happen. So $10 returning 24 for what a catch. Like, I have a good feeling that that's going to happen. But Mark, and guys, it's just a better way to utilize your sports and news knowledge. So go down below, download the app using the link in the description, and use promo code DIGESTNHL for, again, $20 when you trade your first $100. And thank you once again to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Well, there's the obvious part that you want Dylan Holloway in the lineup. He's a great young player, and of course, he hasn't played up to the level that I thought he was going to this year, but nonetheless, he's still a great young player, and you never want to see a guy like that get injured. So for him to come back is huge for this Blues team, especially with, obviously, the injury to Robert Thomas. So that's huge. Obviously, the connection to Edmonton. This is a big storyline heading into tonight. He's returning against the team that let him go, right? And obviously, as seasons go on, that'll start to fade, but it's nice to, see that kind of rivalry butt again, or whatever you want to call it. There is a story here in this game, so that's fun. And not only that, big game for the Blues and for the Oilers, but the Oilers are also without Leon Draisaitl. He just took a leave of absence from the team. So a lot of storylines heading into this one tonight. It should be a really good one. And again, I think that the Blues ultimately won't make the playoffs, and we've been talking about it for a while at this point. I think, all eyes are shifting towards draft lottery odds. We'll get to that later in this video as well. But everyone's focus is kind of shifting towards that. But nonetheless, you still want to watch some of the young guys continue to progress and show something in these games. So to get Holloway back in the lineup is good news. And again, especially with, injuries to the entire team at this point.
And I think that's the big thing. I mean, just looking at this feels like one of the smaller screenshots we use, but Robert Thomas, Joseph Suter are still all out of the lineup. So getting Dylan Holloway, who hasn't played since December 12th when he dealt with that ankle injury that kept him out for a significant amount of time. But Darius, getting him back, like you said, at the end of the day, even if this is the team that wants to prioritize this draft, go into this and get a high pick, you still want to watch the best available talent on the roster. If not, you could go watch Springfield, where they're kind of struggling as well. But the big thing is, looking at the projected lineups, we do see Dylan Holloway projected to play on the second line with Dvorsky and Kyrou. I do like this a lot. Listen, put him right into the top six. That's what he is, a top six talent. We've seen it season after season with this team. I mean, just last year, 63 points, of course, missing the playoffs, but then going into this year at just over a half a point a game. Do you think that second line is the best spot, or do you rather just kind of put him into a smaller role and let him get back to it? Because it has been a full month.
Well, that's a thing you have to consider sometimes, and a lot of coaches do that. Like when you head into a game, maybe they would put him on the fourth line or the third line, kind of ease him back in terms of ice time. But I don't think that's smart in this case. I think that, if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. Let's get him in the lineup. Let's get him in the top six. Let's make, an impact here. Let's get him making an impact. So to me, I think it's fine. I think that's Jim Montgomery saying, he's a player. He's ready to go with, obviously, love the way Jim Montgomery talks, but he's ready to go. Why not have him in the top six? Why would you ease him in, right? And if he's not performing, things are not going well, then maybe dial back his ice time a little bit and ease him back in that way. So we'll see how he, gets deployed, the usage, all of that. But I like that line. I think it's an interesting story heading into tonight, which we've seen it in the past. Kyrou, Holloway kind of have some of that chemistry. They can play well together. We've seen a line with, Shen in the middle of those two as well that has looked good. So that'll be interesting to see with Dvorsky in the middle there, who, again, a lot of people, I don't know where this bad reputation came for Dvorsky all of a sudden, that he's just going to be a bad NHLer. He's a good 200-foot player. Like, I'm excited to see what he's continuing to do. Still a young player, too. This is his first almost full season in the NHL. So I think it's going to be exciting to see what those guys do together, if there's any chemistry there. And then, obviously, the first line, too, they got to get going. And what do the younger guys do, too? Like a Stenberg tonight, stuff like that, continue their development. So it'll be nice to see Holloway back in the lineup as well.
And I do want to say that top line with Stenberg, Shen, and Snuggerud is going to be awesome. But Darius, going further into this, we know the St. Louis Blues like to get 2 wins in a row, followed by a handful of losses. But at the very moment, heading in, we've seen that big game versus Carolina, an even bigger game against one of the hottest teams in the NHL, against Tampa, and now the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the Edmonton Oilers are on a back-to-back. They had travel as well. When looking at it, they played in Vancouver, had to fly to Edmonton. Not a big flight, but at the end of the day, you're getting a good team on the end of a back-to-back. Could you see this being where we get the 3 wins in a row? We know the current standings right now. They're 5 points out of the wild card spot. A couple teams have a game in hand, like the San Jose Sharks, who are sitting in the second wild card spot. I don't want to say that this is the team that's going to make the playoffs, because we know this is the team that's a teeter-totter. It goes up and down. It's like a roller coaster. What is your thoughts on this current little streak against some very good competition?
Yeah, and they're good teams, right? When you look at the Eastern Conference, those might be the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference in terms of teams that I actually think could do damage in the playoffs. If you look at everyone else, the Flyers have hovered around a playoff spot. Do you think they could do damage in the playoffs? I'm not convinced about that. Same with the Sabres, right? So even the Penguins, those are 2 teams that I think could. Those are good teams. So they beat them, and this league is all momentum, riding momentum. And like you said, Oilers on the second half of a back-to-back. I don't think they're necessarily gassed because they were playing the Canucks, but at the same time, take advantage of that. They're on the second half of a back-to-back. And it is a little, I do want to say, sad that we're talking about, could this be the first time the Blues win 3 in a row this season, this far into the season? And that's kind of what we're talking about. But at the same time, that would be something to continue to build off of. And I'm not worried about winning 3 in a row, Mark, for, the standings in terms of like, oh, they win 3 in a row. Maybe you can piece some games together and try and make the playoffs. No, not necessarily that. I'm thinking of the younger guys on this team. They're going to start selling off pieces. If you can get your confidence up, continue to win games and get better at the NHL level, that's just good for the young guys, right? It's never a bad thing. Although we should start talking about, draft lottery odds and stuff like that, because that's something that's going to significantly impact this organization. And if you can get Otto's brother, Ivor Stenberg, in this draft, he might be the best player in this draft. We'll see. We don't know. In hindsight, will be 2020 and 5 years, whatever it is, but he could possibly be the best player in this draft.
And I mean, looking at Ivor Stenberg, we're not going to touch too much on the draft right now, but we can do a full video if you guys want to see that. Let us know in the comments. But I seen a quote saying that he had the vision and he looked like a young Zetterberg coming through in the SHL. But what's your guys' thoughts? Who would you take number 1? Do the Blues win tonight? We're not making a prediction because apparently we're cursed. But let us know all your thoughts down in the comments. And let's go straight in the comment today. Coming through, I remember when the Blues had their first hockey team, I was listening to the game. And let us know your favorite moment in Blues history. Was it winning the cup? Is it a certain play, your first game? Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments, and you could be featured on Comment of the Day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode. I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host, Darius, and take care, Blues fans.